Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please join us today in Srimad Bhagavatam class. We'll be studying Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto, Chapter 62, the meeting of Usha and Aniruddha. Let's start with Jai Radha Madhav prayers. Jai श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
श्रवतां स्वकथा कृष्ण
श्रौतं स्वकथा कृष्ण
पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तन
हृदयन्तस्थो ह्यभद्राणि
हृदयन्तस्थो भद्राणि
विदुनोति सुहसताम्
विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम्
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवते उत्तम श्लोके
भगवतीरुत्तम श्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
So today we'll be studying Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto, Chapter 62, the meeting of Usha and Aniruddha. Please join us for the recitation of the first verse. Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto, Chapter 62, verse 1. Shri Rajovacha
Shri Rajovac
Banasya Tanyamusham
Banasya Tanyausham
Upayeme Yaduttamaha
Upayem Yaduttama
Tatra Yuddham Abhudghoram
Tatra Yuddham Abhudghoram
Hari Shankarayor Mahat
Hari Shankarayor Mahat
Etat Sarvam Mahayogin
Etat Sarvam Mahayogin
Samakhyatum Tvam Arhasi.
Samakhyatum Tvam Arhasi.
Shri Raja Uvacha.
Shri Rajovac.
The king Parikshit Maharaj said,
The king Parikshit Maharaj said,
Banasya
Banasya
of the demon Ban,
of the demon Ban,
Tanyam
Tanyam
the daughter,
the daughter,
Usham
Usham
named Usha,
named Usha,
Upayeme
Upayeme
married,
married,
Yadu Uttamaha
Yadu Uttama,
the best of the Yadus,
the best of the
Aniruddha.
Yadus, Aniruddha,
Tatra
Tatra,
in connection with that,
in connection with that,
Yuddham
Yuddham,
a battle,
a battle,
Abhut
Abhut,
occurred,
occurred,
Ghoram
Ghuram,
fearsome,
fearsome,
Hari Shankarayaho
Hari Shankarayo,
between Lord Hari
between Lord Hari,
Krishna
Krishna,
and Lord Shankar
and Lord Shankar,
Shiva,
Shiva,
Mahat
Mahat,
great,
Mahat great,
Etat
Etat,
this,
Sarvam,
all,
all,
Mahayogin,
Mahayogin,
O great mystic,
a great mistake,
Samakhyatum
Samakhyatum,
to explain, Tvam
Tvam,
you,
you,
Arhasi
Arhasi,
deserve.
deserve.
Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. King Parikshit said, O best of the Yadus married Banasu's daughter Usha, and as a result of a great fearsome battle occurred between Lord Hari and Lord Shankar. Please explain everything about this incident, O most powerful of mystics. There is no purpose, so we'll cover some more verses, a few translations. Shukdev Goswami said, Bana was the oldest of the 100 sons fathered by the great saint Bali Maharaj, who gave the whole earth in charity to Lord Hari when he appeared as Vaman Dev. Banasu, born from Bali's semen, became a great devotee of Lord Shiva. His behavior was always respectable and he was generous, intelligent, truthful, and firm in his vows. The beautiful city of Shonitpur was under his dominion. Because Lord Shiva had favored him, the very demigods waited on Banasur like menial servants. Once, when Shiva was dancing his Tandav Nritya, Bana especially satisfied the Lord by playing a musical accompaniment with his 1,000 arms. Banasur was intoxicated with his strength. One day, when Lord Shiva was standing beside him, Banasur touched the Lord's lotus feet with his helmet, which shone like the sun, and spoke to him as follows. Banasur said, O Lord Mahadev, I bow down to you, the spiritual master and controller of the worlds. You are like the heavenly tree that fulfills the desires of those whose desires are unfulfilled. These 1,000 arms you bestowed upon me have become merely a heavy burden. Besides you, I find no one in the three worlds worthy to fight. Purport. According to the Acharyas, Banasur's subtle implication here is this. And so, when I have defeated you, Lord Shiva, my world conquest will be complete and my desire for battle satisfied. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshitarine Om Jnana Timrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tadham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So, Shukdev Goswami is speaking Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. And now Parikshit Maharaj is curious because after having heard about 16,108 wives of Lord Shri Krishna, he continued to hear the wonderful conversation between Lord Shri Krishna and his wife, Queen Rukmini. And then Aniruddha's, pastime was discussed in the previous chapter, chapter 61, where Aniruddha was married to the granddaughter of Rukmi. Her name was Rochana. And how Rukmi was slain by Lord Balaram. And hearing of Aniruddha, Parikshit Maharaj remembered a pastime where because of Aniruddha, there was a great fight occurred between Lord Shri Krishna and Lord Shiva. So he wants to hear, and he addressed that who was the, how it even occurred. So he actually gives the hint. So Parikshit Maharaj is saying, because Aniruddha was married to Usha, in that context in the past, Banasur had incited, and there was a great fight that led between the Yadus, the dynasty of Yadu, and the Asuras, the demons, who were?
Who is Usha and who is Aniruddha?
Yes. So Usha is daughter of Banasur. Aniruddha is grandson of Lord Shri Krishna and son of Pradyumna. We also explained earlier, again this is for analytical purposes, that Lord Krishna first expands into Balaram. So, also again Vishnu Tattva. And Lord Balaram further expands into Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. So these four personalities are who are present in Dwarka. And they are present in a familial relationship. So Lord Vasudeva is none other than Lord Shri Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, all Vishnu Tattvas are non-different. Simultaneously, Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva concept comes here. Because of their pastimes and their mood, they are differentiated. Lord Vasudeva's mission is to relieve the burden of the earth. Lord Sankarshan's mission is to satisfy Lord Vasudeva. Pradyumna is son of Lord Vasudeva and he is the original Cupid. So he's appearing as sun, and he's the original Cupid who expands into various Cupids into different universes. Kandarpa. And his son is Aniruddha. So Aniruddha's marriage with Rochana was described in the previous chapter. And here, wonderful pastimes continue, and here even Parikshit Maharaj is inciting. He wishes to hear about this great battle and great fight between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva. So Shukdev Goswami, he's calling Shukdev Goswami mystic. Why? Because he's actually inciting Shukdev Goswami being a Trikalagya. He knows about the past, present and future. And so inciting him that you can even think what happened in the past, and as well as you know what's going to happen in the future. Why don't you enlighten me about this wonderful pastime? And this battle that occurred between Banasur and the Yadavas, the descendants of Yadu, is so glorious, and it's ghoram, right? It is frightful, that even the demigods, they came in their planes when this fight happened. And in this chapter, basically the setting of the scene is being discussed of that particular fight. Hare Krishna. So here, Shukdev Goswami starts to narrate as how Banasur was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. So as we hear the prayers of Banasur, we hear him, glorifying Lord Shiva as a desire tree. And that's how we pray to the Vaishnavas, right? That the Vaishnavas are just like the desire tree, and they can fulfill the desire of all living entities. And they are especially compassionate towards the living entities. So that's how he is glorifying. So he is very intelligent, yet at the same time, by the mercy of Lord Shiva, he has received 1,000 arms. And, Sahasrabahu Arjun is another story we have covered. So when you get so much power, then sometimes it gets to your head, right? Pauper is proud of his penny. There is a very common saying that even a beggar is sometimes proud because he has few pennies, which is nothing from others' perspective, but he is feeling it very proud. So here Banasur is feeling very proud because of the 1,000 arms he has received from Lord Shiva. And he actually uses those arms in satisfying Lord Shiva by playing on various drums when Lord Shiva was doing Tandav Nritya. So he is actually, glorifying Lord Shiva and accompanying him, serving Lord Shiva. And being a servant of Lord Shiva, of course, becomes dear to Lord Krishna. Yet at the same time, he is serving Lord Shiva with the mood of becoming all in all. So he is very intelligent, he is very powerful, he is very true to his words. Now when it comes about true to his words, that is, like father, like son. That is the characteristic given. Who is father of Banasur? Bali Maharaj. None other than Daityaraj Bali Maharaj, who is glorified as the highest level, Atma Nivedanam. So the ninth process of devotional service, that, ninth one, that is the Atma Nivedanam, and Bali Maharaj attained perfection by surrendering everything to Lord Shri Krishna. That's Atma Nivedanam. Surrendering everything, up, like shape. So whatever one possesses, gives it, to the Lord. And so he satisfied Lord Vamandev by giving the whole of universe. The whole of earth was in the first step, the whole of universe second step, and third step was his own head. So he surrendered his own body in the service of Lord Krishna. So thus he is glorified. Further, Bali Maharaj is also glorified because of his father Virochana. And we know about Virochana, that when demigods disguise themselves as Brahmanas, and of course demigods are the administrators, and here, they ask for Virochana in charity to give his life. Virochana simply gave it. He knew that these are demigods. So even father of Bali Maharaj is so pious and true to his words. And then further up is Prahlad Maharaj. So Virochana is son of Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj, we know, is an amazing great devotee of Lord, and he is one of the 12 Mahajanas. And also Bali Maharaj is counted in Mahajanas. So you can imagine that Banasura is appearing in such a lineage where great Mahajanas have taken birth. And he is a devotee of Lord Shiva, another Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. So he is serving Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva becomes very pleased. Yet this statement that I am not able to find anyone, and Lord Shiva had given him another benediction. Once Lord Shiva was very pleased with Banasura and asked him to ask for anything. At that time, Banasura requested Lord Shiva to become the protector of his city. And so Lord Shiva agreed, and he, along with Mother Parvati, came to Banasura's city, and he became the protector. So now none of the demigods would attack, right? Because who's the protector of this city? None other than Lord Shiva himself. And because he was such a wonderful devotee of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva was living with him, those demigods would be ready to take order from Banasura as a menial servant. They wanted to serve Banasura because he was serving the topmost Vaishnava. So those were his glories. Yet at the same time, having received 1,000 arms, he became proud. And he became so proud that once he said to Lord Shiva, so sometimes when somebody becomes proud, that is a sign of his fall down. And Lord Krishna doesn't want any of his devotee to fall down, so he immediately shatters the pride of his devotees. He did not even leave gopis and Queen Rukmini. He doesn't want his devotees to have any pride. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives us a perfect formula as how we can continue to serve Lord Krishna without any tinge of, pride. Tranadapi shunichena tarurapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Thinking of oneself lower than the grass on the street, tranadapi shunichena. Tarurapi sahishnuna is, and be more tolerant than the tree. And tree is so tolerant, gives us shade, fruits, flowers, wood, and yet at the same time when it is cut, it doesn't object. And further continues to provide us so many facilities like furniture, so many instruments and so forth that can be used in service of Lord Krishna. So be more tolerant than the tree. Amanina manadina, not expecting respect for ourselves, but giving all respects to others. Kirtaniya sadhari, if one has this mood, these 4 qualities, then one can continue to chant the glories of Lord Shri Krishna unlimitedly, incessantly, eternally. Sadahari. So here, Lord Shiva, understanding the mood of this Banasura, who is saying that he would be satisfied when he gets to fight with Lord Shiva. And Banasura, he explains. Why does he want that? It's because he is not able to find another contender with whom, another fighter with whom he can, be defeated. And because of that, when he goes to like Vindhya Hills and other places, the elephants run away seeing him when he tries to fight with them. And he is destroying these mountains by, banging with his fist, those 1,000 arms. He is destroying, just like thunderbolt destroys the peak of the mountains. He is crushing these mountains after mountains. And he's feeling that he is so powerful, there is no contender, and the only contender he can see is Lord Shiva. So he is posing this in somewhat arrogant mood, that I would be satisfied once I defeat you. So that is in purport, Acharyas explain that sometime when someone becomes proud, this is the mood they have. He was a great warrior, a very powerful and intelligent person. He has been identified as an intelligent person, yet at the same time his demoniac mindset has been revealed. That even though a person may be very intelligent, but if he contains demonic mindset, then he can even challenge God. So that is what Banasur is doing. He is challenging Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is Shiva Tattva. He is not a Jiva Tattva, he is also not a Vishnu Tattva. And it's been explained, if Lord Krishna is milk, if Vishnu Tattva is milk, then Lord Shiva is curd, also known as yogurt here. So now once milk converts into curd or yogurt, you cannot convert it back, yogurt back to milk. So that is because of the association of material energy, Maya Devi, goddess Parvati. So Lord Shiva is Shiv Tattva and he is glorified as such. Parasur is posing this question to, that is an inquiry that only, I find you as a contender. At that time, Lord Shiva actually curses him. And Acharyas give a very nice explanation with this mindset. So let's look at this mindset first before we look at Lord Shiva's response. So Banasur, his mentality is that he wants to fight with his worshipable deity. Now that's arrogance, that's pride. Because he is feeling that once I defeat you, then I'll become greater than you. So demons have this mentality. They always feel that I have defeated all my enemies. I am Lord of all that prevails. And if there is anything, I have gathered so much and I'll gather more. So he is looking at name, fame, glories. Those are the focus a demon has. And we see that in current times also. There are many materialists, they try to just seek publicity one after another, looking for glories. Sometimes they even challenge Lord Krishna in their foolishness. And then devotees, we always like to be under the radar, just serving Lord Krishna. We don't want our service to be interrupted by Lord Shri Krishna. So we understand that the elephant goes on while the dogs keep barking behind. We are not affected by a dog. So that's where people who are atheists and even, against God, they deride God. So that kind of mentality is going to, put them in a lot of suffering. We know that. So why we get engaged? Rather, our focus should be to love Shri Krishna. Love Shri Shri Radha Krishna, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Radha Govindji, Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundarji, and just seek their satisfaction. So that is the mind of a devotee, that we have our devotional service to please Lord. And Lord, He doesn't need, to be protected by our minuscule strength. He is very powerful. And as death personified, He can annihilate all these miscreants, right? And Lord Krishna reveals that there are 4 kinds of people who don't surrender unto Him. Namam dushkitino mudha prapadyante naradhamaha maya pradhyana asurim bhavam ashitaha. Lord Krishna reveals in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, it's in the 7th chapter, that there are 4 kinds of people, they don't surrender unto Him. Drushkitino mudha. So drushkiti is like they have bad propensity, dushta. These are demons. Mudhas. Mudhas are people, the first kind, who are just working very hard to survive. And they think that they can exist on their own, by their own strength. So those are mudhas, foolish people. They work like asses all their life. And at the time of death, they finally have to bow down in front of death, who is, time. I am, Lord Krishna says. And He appears as death personified to them. So finally, if you can either decide to bow down now with love and devotion, or you will have to bow down at the time of death. So this is the state of Buddhas. Naradhama. Now the second quality is the most fallen of human race. So of 8.4 million species, 0.4, that's 4 lakhs, 400,000 are humankinds. And of them, there are the lowest type of humankinds like Chantas, Malechas and those. So those are Naradhamas. They are the most lowest of human race. And so their mentality is eat, sleep, may defend. Eat and be merry. Eat, sleep and be merry. So that's their slogan of life. And that's for life. So they may have been born in a nice aristocratic family. By God's mercy, they may have received wealth and prosperity and intelligence, but they misuse it just to sustain their living. Then the third quality is Maya Pratyana, whose intelligence has been taken away. And who are these? These are the great scientists, doctors, philosophers, and so forth. Intelligent community who have been endowed with intelligence, but their intelligence, the true intelligence, has been taken away by material energy. This actually brings to a very interesting point that the current society, why is there so much suffering and why is there so much misery in current society? If you look at it, Srila Prabhupada again said, when he went to Boston University, he said, do you have any department that talks about soul? What happens after life? There was none. So, Srila Prabhupada gave a nice lecture there, preached to them. Yet at the same time, he identified that today's the universities are only providing education so that somebody can sustain their life, can go out, get a job and get income so that they can take care of their families, the children, themselves and so forth. That's a struggle in survival. All this intelligence is being used, actually is being misused. Because when we take birth and based on our various activities, it's very easily destined, our quota of eat, sleep, mate, defend has already been identified. And based on our engagement in different activities, it gets, adjusted accordingly. Yet at the same time, if we have worked all our life but lost our soul, the purpose of life, this human life is a precious boon that we get. We are not qualified to receive human life. However, by Lord's mercy, we receive this human form of life. Yet at the same time, all the intelligence is being misused by engaging in just trying to live and engaging in senses. And that's what lust is, right? Lust is where we put ourselves in the center. And everything is oriented towards us to satisfy us. That I have become so wonderful person and everyone is worshipping me. So this is lusty person's mindset. This is how a lusty person, demon, thinks. And a philosopher is putting whatever philosophy they feel like. There was one philosophy being said that Earth has exact amount of molecules and grains of sand. So if there is another grain of sand that will be, put on Earth, which is not here, then everything will get annihilated. This is another theory that came up. So they keep coming up with these weird theories. While we already talked about the whole island of Aniruddha Desh, right, which is now Dwarka, as explained in the Shastras. That came from Vaikuntha planet, but it didn't get destroyed because it's Lord's inconceivable potency. He can do whatever he feels like. Sometimes people say, oh, Lord takes alcohol. Well, they are being very, very foolish, because if you look at it, Lord can do whatever he feels like. Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram, they are not different. And Lord Balaram is known to be drinking Varuni, which is a kind of, but then that's God. You don't imitate God. Lord Shiva, he takes halahal in his, during the churning of the ocean. So he keeps it in his throat, but some people say, oh, he actually drank it. No, he kept it in his throat and it became bluish. That's why his another name he got is Nilkantha, one who has a bluish neck. Kantha. Kantha is the throat. People, and then they start following, saying that they are Lord Shiva's devotees. Actually, they're demons, but they're calling themselves Lord Shiva devotees, and they're taking all kind of, bad material like ganja and others. And this is how they are kind of like, defaming Lord Shiva's great name, who is such an amazing Vaishnava. And Srila Prabhupada, he was once approached by his disciples, and they said that actually they are preaching to a person who is a Lord Shiva's devotee. Srila Prabhupada said, yes, that's okay. And he would be benefited if he understands that Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava. So this is a mood of Vaishnava, that Srila Prabhupada is revealing the secret to even demigod worshippers, and especially Lord Shiva's worshippers, that they should understand that Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava. Sometimes people try to bring a contrast between Vaishno Devi and Lord Krishna. The interesting thing is, when they call Mother Durga, Goddess Parvati, as Vaishno Devi, the very meaning of Vaishno Devi is a devotee of Lord Krishna. Why are you trying to have a competition between a devotee and the Lord? That's ignorance. So sometimes Maya Pradgyana, Maya takes away their intelligence and they talk weird stuff. So it is very interesting that a devotee understands that Lord has inconceivable potency. He can do whatever he feels like. And
He is our Lord, and His shelter we take because this is where our purpose is there. Jivera Sarup Hoya Krishnera Nityadas. We as living entities are eternal servant of Lord Krishna. Rather we glorify when Lord Krishna runs away from the battlefield. We have temples in Gujarat and Rajasthan where Lord is worshipped as Ranchor. And why is he Ranchor? Because he is thinking about his devotees, about the next coming attractions, as well as of the Brahmanas, the astrologers, whom Jarasan has warned that if he loses the 18th time, he will come and kill all of them. Lord doesn't want even one Brahman to be hurt. Namo Brahmanaya Devaya Go Brahmanaya Hitaya. Go Brahmanaya Hitaya. He's always looking as a well-wisher of Brahmanas and the cows. So that is Lord's outlook. He is so merciful. Yet at the same time, people whose intelligence is taken away, they speak all kind of nonsense. So that's why Srila Prabhupada used to give this very nice example. Actually, Chanakya Pandit gave this. So Srila Prabhupada uses Chanakya's sayings in a spiritual sense. Chanakya's sayings are actually on a materialistic sense, how to do the niti, how to deal in a society. But Srila Prabhupada even, converted those from a spiritual perspective, giving him glories because of that. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that the elephant keeps walking while the dogs bark. Does elephant get affected? No. Elephant is on its way. So similarly, devotees, we are constantly serving Lord Shri Krishna, not affected by these people who are dushkriti, dushkritano mudhas. And they are naradhamas, and their maya has taken away their intelligence. Asurim bhavam. Now the fourth one is asuri bhavam, who have demonic mentality. And that's what has been reflected in case of Banasur, that he is thinking like a demon, even to, win over, get victorious over his worshipable deity, Lord Shiva. So what can you talk about it? So Lord Shiva at that time, he calls him that, he actually, he's rebuking Bana, that one day your flag will be, destroyed. So your flag will be cut down by someone, and this pride will be smashed. You will be able to face such an adversary, and this adversary will be equal to me. Now sometimes people look at this word equal to me. Acharyas explain it very nicely, and there are many examples how we can understand. So when Lord Shiva says he equal to me, he is referring to, Lord Krishna. Yet at the same time, it doesn't mean that, Lord Shiva is equal to Lord Krishna. And one simple example, if you are a mathematics student, especially geometry, then you will be able to understand it very easily. If Lord Shiva is a rhombus and Lord Krishna is a square, then the square is also a rhombus, right? But the rhombus is not a square. So every rhombus is not a square, but every square is a rhombus. So that's what Lord Shiva is revealing. That, and what is rhombus? Rhombus is basically four-sided parts. Each side is of equal length, and opposite sides are parallel to each other. So when you draw a diagram, you can come to know. And a square is a rhombus. So in this particular aspect, Lord Shiva is saying one who is equal to me. But Lord Krishna is the source. He is the creator of Lord Shiva. He is the source of Lord Shiva. Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So Lord Brahma in Brahma Samhita in the very first verse is revealing Ishvara Paramaha Krishna, that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Satchidanand Vigraha, and his form is that of eternal bliss, knowledge, and is eternity, bliss and knowledge. Anadir Adir Govinda. Anadir, yani there is no one older than him, and he is the oldest person, Adi. Govinda, Govinda is Lord Krishna, who gives pleasure to the senses and to the cows. So even Lord Brahma is saying, and Lord Shiva is revealing, that actually Lord Krishna is the creator of all the Vishnus and even of Brahma and Shiva and all the demigods. So Lord Shiva tells him that one day your flag would be cut down and you will be defeated by one who is equal to me. So he is referring to Lord Krishna. And then Shukdev Goswami, without further ado, he jumps into the pastime. He starts revealing that this Banasur had a beautiful daughter. Her name was Usha. So, this daughter of Banasur, and Acharyas further explain the purpose. So, we'll quickly cover the story and focusing on the lessons. Then Usha was at marriageable age. So, when she was at that age, one day she happened to visit, Lord Shiva and Goddess Durga, the Goddess Parvati, in their home. So they were living in the same city as Banasur, Shonitpura. And so she walks in and she sees Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati embracing each other. So at that time, being at marriageable age, she became curious. So this is also a lesson we should learn, that sometimes transfer of desires happen when we engage our senses where they should not be engaged. We are learning from this incident that sometimes when we see someone doing something and that person glorifies that activity, sometimes people get attracted to doing those activities. Like there is a lot of challenge that happens with respect to, let's go to the Mars, let's launch one satellite after another satellite, and let's try to create a colony on Mars. This is a new bewilderment of material energy that people are getting distracted by. And in this process, what are they doing? This is not going to benefit human society because it doesn't solve the purpose of human society. The very purpose of human society is to be able to go back home, back to Godhead, get spiritually advanced, serve Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna in Mid East is known as Christo, in the West is known as Christ. So again, and Jesus has always been called as Son of God. And there is a very interesting incident. It reminds me that Srila Prabhupada once he used to call people from other faiths to have nice dialogue. So there was this a Christian priest who had come, and the devotees were having this dialogue with this priest, and they were talking about the 12 commandments and why is this commandment already there, thou shalt not kill. And Srila Prabhupada used to, in the past, they had seen Srila Prabhupada discussing on those. And the devotees were bringing up different, statements directly from the Bible, saying that, see, here it is said so, and here it is said so. And then the priest was getting from the Bible that, but see here, Jesus, he produces wine from water and he gives it, and here he is doing this. And then they are saying, no, he broke the bread, he did not, participate in any non-veg eating and all that. And then afterwards, so the priest was not very satisfied, and that meeting with Srila Prabhupada afterwards was not very fruitful. So Srila Prabhupada was smiling and telling his disciples that they should not try to produce their philosophy on the basis of Bible. We should produce our philosophy based on the scriptures that we have, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because Bible is something that the priest has, and also there have been many questions by the Christians themselves as how Bible was written. And there is an aspect that they themselves question that it has been written by humans, and various misinterpretations may have taken their space. They may have entered into Bible. So why look at a scripture that someone else is following? We simply follow our scriptures because we have our journey, they have their journey, right? That's why devotees, they don't argue about what is written in a specific scripture, oriented towards demigod worship. We look at Vedas, yes, because Vedas are coming from Lord Krishna, but it is also like a marketplace. When you go to a marketplace, you find all kind of stuff being sold there. You will find potatoes being sold, clothes being sold, as well as jewelry being sold at the same place, and then there will be a diamond shop. Now, if you see in front of potato in a sabji mandi, you will see a lot of people, lined up to buy potatoes. But if you go to the diamond shop, how many people will you see? Very few. So that is the difference. Vedas talk about everything. However, there is a very small section on devotional service, especially pure devotional service. But it's like diamond shop, and not everyone will be attracted. Everyone is attracted towards Vedas because they are seeking sense gratification. And this is where even after writing Vedas, Vyasadeva himself, Srila Vyasadeva, was dissatisfied. He was not happy. And Devashi Narad came and told him that why he is not satisfied is because he has not glorified Lord Krishna sufficiently. And then Vyasadeva, with the maturity of his, age and his time, he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Amal Purana, which is faultless scripture. And it is like the ripened fruit of Vedic scriptures. It is a commentary on the Vedic philosophy, the whole set of literatures, so you can understand. And this is what we want to relish. This is what we want to hear. So here, Usha has shown by, just by seeing Lord Mahadev, Lord Shiva embracing Mother Parvati, she gets this desire. And at that time, Goddess Parvati is seeing that Usha is getting that desire. She actually, calms her down and she says that you will be able to meet your husband, because Usha is saying, when will I see someone with whom I will be having similar times, similar, activities. And Mother Parvati says that there will be a due time, but she was very curious. Then Mother Parvati gives her a boon, that on the 12th lunar fortnight of Vaishak, you will be able to see your husband in your dream. So the boon has already been given by Mother Parvati to Usha. So Usha knows that on that night, her husband will appear to her in her dream. And it just so happened that that night when Usha is sleeping, and she would normally be with her, other friends, so other girls would be surrounding her, and as she was sleeping, she sees in her dream Aniruddha, right? Who is grandson of Lord Krishna, son of Pradyumna. And she sees him, and in the conjugal love mode, she is embracing Aniruddha. And at that time, suddenly Aniruddha, he vanishes. So this was just to satisfy Goddess Parvati, who is a great devotee of Lord Krishna, Vaishno Devi. Just to satisfy her statement, Lord allows this to happen in Usha's dream. And so, having seen Lord Aniruddha in her dream and suddenly vanishing, she immediately wakes up, calling out, "Oh, where have you gone, my lover?" So when she says this, her friends were surprised, because Banasur had provided so much protection to his daughter Usha that she had not even seen a man. And no man had ever been visited, to her quarters, to her palace. And all the guards of that palace were either eunuchs or ladies, right, women. So there was never a man even as guard to this place. So one of her playmate, one of her close friend, intimate friend was Chitralekha. Now Chitralekha, who is Chitralekha? Chitralekha is an expansion of Yogamaya. And so she inquires from Usha, saying, "You have never seen a man, you don't know what they look like. How is it that you are feeling this? What was her experience?" So Usha reveals to her what she saw in her dream. Now Chitralekha, being an expansion of Yogamaya, has mystic yogic potencies. Chitra means picture. Lekha means that one who can draw. So Lekha is scribing as well. So she had this mystic power that she could, expertly draw, different personalities as they were there. So she starts drawing the faces of different personalities based on description that Usha provided. What did Usha said? Usha told her that he was just like a cupid with a dark bluish complexion, with lotus-like eyes, big powerful arms, wearing yellow garments, right? Golden yellow garments. And he had an amazing smile and how he was dressed. So looking at that description she has received. So now in today's times, we see there are many, police department uses similar sketch makers, right? Based on the description, they draw sketches. So Chitralekha is an expert in that art. She's based on the description Usha has given, she's trying to think of different personalities that are there in the heavenly planets. So she's drawing various demigods who are there. And Usha is saying, nope, 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 next, nope. And then she starts saying, okay, after demigods, Gandharvas, various Gandharvas who seem to be matching the description. And Usha is rejecting one after another, those drawings. And then she starts drawing, the various Charana Lokas residents, Siddha Loka residents and so forth. And now she starts drawing the Yadavas on Earth planet. So she is drawing Lord Krishna, she is drawing Surasen, she is drawing Ugrasen, she is drawing, the various Vasudev, father of Lord Vasudev. And Usha is rejecting all of them, no, not him, not him. But as soon as she draws Pradyumna, Acharyas explained that she immediately understands that this is her father-in-law, so she becomes a little bashful. She becomes a little shy, as like realizing, oh, seems to be the father of my husband. And then, as soon as Chitralekha draws Aniruddha, she immediately becomes bashful, bending her head down and smiling. She says, this is him. So Chitralekha is a great mystic yogini because she is an expansion of Yogamaya. Yogamaya is Lord's internal potency, Lord Krishna's internal potency. So she has this potency that she can go through mystic airways to wherever she wants to go in short time, and she can even bring someone along with her. So there she is able to get to Dwarka. Of course she is an expansion of Yogamaya, and Yogamaya is arranging this whole arena of Dwarka, so her expansion is able to get in there. However, she is not able to get into the living quarters, the palaces where Aniruddha is sleeping. At that time, someone comes to her help, to her rescue. And who's this? You can guess it very rightly. This is none other than Sage Narad. So he's at the right place at the right time doing the right activity. He knows about the past, present and future. That's the definition of Trikalagya, one who knows about past, present, future. So Sage Narad is aware that Lord Shiva has given this boon to Banasur. Mother Parvati has given this boon to Usha that Aniruddha will be her husband. The boon to Banasur is that Banasur will be fighting with Lord Krishna and he will be defeated. So let me help in the process. So as a devotee, he is just supporting this. So he allows Chitralekha to get into the quarters, into the palace where Aniruddha is sleeping. So Aniruddha is sleeping and she mystically takes Aniruddha from his palace in Dwarka, where he was sleeping on a nice bed bedecked with, jewels, sapphires, topaz and so many other jewels and rubies. So she takes him along with her to Chitralekha's quarters, her palace. And when Chitralekha, she beholds Aniruddha, she is happy, right? Because she knows this is my husband. So she has already given this boon by Goddess Parvati, Aniruddha would be her husband, she is in company of her husband. So she takes Aniruddha to her inner quarters. So even, within the palace, there were further inner quarters, inner chambers, her bedroom. And this is where she, makes sure that Aniruddha is comfortable. And when Aniruddha gets up, he wakes up, he finds himself in a completely different place. And this is, again, as the Vishnu Tattva, he is understanding this is a pastime. And he is going along, so this is Lord's mercy. Lord, he expands into so many numerous forms and he is carrying out so many wonderful potencies and with his potencies so many wonderful pastimes. So at that time, she worships Aniruddha and she pleases Aniruddha in all respects. She feeds him nicely, she dresses him nicely, because she in her heart knows that this is my husband. Goddess Parvati said, this is my husband. Yet at the same time, she is also a bashful girl. Yet at the same time, in front of her husband, she is only having this mood of serving. And when somebody serves Lord, he appreciates it and allows the devotee to serve them. So here, Usha, who is wife of Aniruddha, so again, she would be wife of Aniruddha, is serving Aniruddha. And it just so happens that all the guards who were eunuchs, none of them were male or women, they start seeing that it seems like Usha is in a company of a male companion. Her bodily behavior has changed and they are seeing symptoms. So before, now they are in fear that we have noticed this and we have discussed with ourselves, all the guards have, and we have been guarding this place so no man could have entered. They don't know that Chitralekha, using a mystic power, has brought Aniruddha inside the palace of Chitralekha, of Usha's palace. So Chitralekha had brought this because of her mystic power. And now they go to Banasu because they are fearing that if Banasu comes to know of it by some other source, then he would punish us. And they told him very clearly that, oh my dear Lord, we had been guarding at our position. We had been, making sure that no man ever even sees inside the palace. Yet at the same time, your daughter is showing the symptoms that she has been corrupted, that she is in companion of a male person, so, in companion of a male. So Banasur becomes agitated. He had made perfect arrangements so that his daughter doesn't even see a man. And how is it that now she has been corrupted? It is a great disgrace to the family. So he is surprised and is agitated. He immediately rushes to Usha's palace. And when he enters in a bedroom, what does he see? He sees that Aniruddha and Usha, they are playing dice. And Aniruddha is, in his beautiful form. He is the son of Pradyumna, the original Cupid. So he has a similar form. And Banasur is, first when he sees Aniruddha, he is thinking that Usha could not have selected a better husband in all the three worlds. Those are his feelings. Those are his true feelings when he is looking at Aniruddha, who has the dark bluish form, and he has lotus-like eyes. He is wearing these golden garments, and he is wearing a fresh flower of spring, jasmine flowers, and it has kumkum on it because Usha had embraced Aniruddha. So the kumkum had transferred from her body to this garland. So he understands very well, and he had come with guards, with his army. And so Aniruddha, and he is surprised to see that even seeing me, a great warrior with 1,000 arms, and all these soldiers, the guards, Aniruddha is not at all bewildered. He is smiling nicely, conversing with Usha. And at that time, Banasur, in anger, that this young man has polluted my daughter, he asks his guards to capture Aniruddha so he can punish Aniruddha. And at that time, all these guards come, and it's said that he picks up an iron club. There is another description by Acharyas given that this club was not made up of iron, it was made of a murur element. However, Aniruddha, he doesn't find any weapons, so that's also given. And he sees an iron rod, so he picks up this iron rod, and now he is standing with the iron rod as Yamraj, death personified, Lord of Death. So everyone, is trying to catch Aniruddha, but Aniruddha with his iron rod is beating them so badly, and they are fleeing away. So all these soldiers and guards, the army of Banasur is trying to catch Aniruddha, and they are not able to catch him. So Aniruddha very nicely escapes the palace. However, it is saying that with mystic Nagpash, Banasur is able to capture Aniruddha. Now Acharyas explained that actually Aniruddha could not have been captured at all because he is Lord himself, right? So he is a Vishnu Tattva. However, to allow the pastime to happen, for that next boon to happen, that Lord Shiva's statement that Banasur will be fighting with Lord Krishna, for that to happen, Aniruddha allows himself to be caught. So this is another place we are seeing that Lord is so merciful that he is allowing himself to be caught for the sake of his devotee. And where do we hear this earlier? This happened in Damodar Leela, we know that. And also earlier, when Lord Ramchandra and Lord Lakshman were there, they allowed themselves to be caught by the Nagpash, which was shot by Meghnath, so that it is to glorify Garudev, right? The carrier of Lord Vishnu. So Hanuman went and got Garudev, and Garudev broke the Nagpash. So Lord allows himself to be, caught so as to glorify. So this is to glorify Lord Shiva. Aniruddha is allowing himself to be caught in Nagpash. And when Usha comes to know that her husband, because that's her thought, her feeling is, Mother Parvati said, this is my husband, and my father has now captured my husband. But as a obedient daughter, she is not able to speak out. Yet she is crying so much that looking at her cries, again it's given in other scriptures in Padma Puran and Vishnu Puran, that Banasur, he only captures, and contains Aniruddha in a place. However, this is where this chapter ends, and the next chapter we pick up how Aniruddha is released and married to Usha. So this is where the fight between Lord Krishna and Banasur is discussed. And even better than that is the battle between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva, Lord Shankar. So this is another place we are seeing the Lord and his devotee are in a battlefield, and they are fighting with each other in such glorious pastime that all the demigods, even Lord Brahma comes to see this, and they are hovering in their planes on the battlefield, amazingly looking at this pastime. So such is the wonderful pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna and his expansions. So again, Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is the original personality of Godhead, and his further expansions is what Aniruddha is. Yet at the same time, he is non-different. Achintya Bheda, Bheda Tattva is being identified. His mood is different, his pastimes are different, yet at the same time, he is same Vishnu Tattva as Lord Krishna. Ete chams kalaha pumsa, Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Loke Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. So in first canto, Sutta Goswami reveals at Naimisharanya to the sages that all these expansions that he is describing in the third chapter of first canto is positions and the plenary positions of Lord Krishna. But Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the original personality of Godhead, and he appears time and again to annihilate the miscreants, which is Indrari Vyakulam Loke. When the enemy of Indra, enemy of Indra, Vyakulam Yuge Yuge, cause disturbance in this material universe, then Lord appears to set everything right. So this is the mood of Lord Krishna, and Lord Aniruddha is allowing himself to be caught so that the further pastimes can proceed. And this is where we end this chapter, and the lessons we learn is that just like looking at others doing something, the transfer of desire happens, so we should be very careful. Pride cometh before fall. That's the second lesson. That when one becomes proud, one is sure to fall down. So it is very important to understand how not to become proud. And that formula is Tranadapi Shunichena Tarorapi Sahishnu Namani Namanadena Kirtaniya Sadahri. That always think of oneself, 4 qualities: be humble than the grass, more humble than the grass, be more tolerant than the tree, not expect any respect from others, and always be ready to give all respects to others. So these 4 qualities, when we are keeping and continue to engage in devotional service. So that is also the 5th one is our continuous engagement should be in devotional service. So all our activities should be dovetails with Lord Krishna in the center. Even our prescribed duties should be performed. So yat karoshi yadashnasi yad juhoshi tadasi yat tapasyasi kanteya tat karishvamada pranam. Lord Krishna is revealing this in Bhagavad Gita 9.27. Where he is saying, whatever you do, yat karoshi, yadashnasi yad juhoshi tadasi, whatever you offer, whatever you give away, whatever, our very activities, means he's identifying whatever we do, whatever we offer, whatever we give away, everything should be done as an offering to him. So when our senses are engaged in satisfying Lord Krishna, who is Rishikesha, who is the master of the senses, then automatically our senses are satisfied. So that's how we as living entities have this duty. And when we engage in devotional service, it is not that after we go back home or attain the purpose of this life, our devotional service stops. No. Jivera Suruphoya Krishnera Nityadas. We are eternal servant of Lord Krishna, so we continue to engage in devotional service. Now the flavor of devotional service always varies. Just like Lord has unlimited potencies, his flavor of devotional service has also unlimited varieties. So some can go for book distribution, like we used to go out for book distribution. Then Kirtan is another way, deity worship is another way, various ways. And of that, the Yug Dharma is Sankirtan Yajna. And even higher than that, Acharyas explain, is serving the Vaishnavas, pure Vaishnavas. So we love to serve the devotees, and similarly, we love to carry out the instructions of our spiritual master, because that is a great service that is done. And when we do great service to our spiritual master, we bestow his mercy, just like, and Lord's mercy flows through his devotees. It flows in this parampara system. That's another aspect. And we should take that to our heart, that when we engage in devotional service, we should do it in a humble mood to satisfy our spiritual master. When Srila Prabhupada, he was glorified and everyone would be jumping, all his disciples and the devotees would be jumping, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada would also chant, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. So some of the new devotees, they would get confused. Is he glorifying himself? Then Srila Prabhupada explained that I am actually glorifying my spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami, Srila Prabhupada. So this is how it means, all we get is by the mercy of our spiritual master. And also it is said that we always first bow down in front of our spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada is the preeminent Acharya and the founder Acharya of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So we also, look at Srila Prabhupada as our instructing Guru. And then we have Diksha Guru. There can only be one Diksha Guru. We always seek mercy of our Diksha Guru. So we always pray to our spiritual masters for their mercy, so that we can get mercy of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna. So please, this is where this chapter ends, and we'll be picking up in the next chapter as how Lord Krishna fights with Lord Shiva and Banasur. Kantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Janant Kori Vaishnavind ki jai. Please join us for Nrsimhadev prayers. Hare Krishna.
शिव सिंहदेव भगवान की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि
हरि
बोल।
बोल।
हरे कृष्णा।